Great to see you back with us. Thanks for joining me, Peter Banks, for another edition of Banging On. Today we're going to be talking about the ratio of electricity energy production in the UK, how we can monitor it on a computer or a smartphone. So today's topic is the energy mix. The first monitor we're going to have a look at today is called MyGridGB. The link to it will be below this video, and this is a very comprehensive look at the ratios of energy production and also some great historical figures. So let's take a look at that. And we're going to go straight to the home page here. So if we scroll down, we can see the mix of energy generation here, and then in the corner here, if we want to go full screen, we can choose that one, and that gives us a really good layout and a very clear display. Furthermore, we can move around these. So here you can see nuclear 5.1 gigawatts, 15.2%, gas 12.5 gigawatts, 36.9%. Solar, it's towards the end of the day. What's the time? 5 o'clock ish. So 1.8, it's fading away. 5.2. Go back to the home screen. What's really good on this site is that you have so many other bits of data that you can look at. So the dashboard takes us to a slightly different view. Last 48 hours, 7 days, 28 days, 12 months. Coal tracker, which is good because you can see the way coal is getting used less and less. And then electricity since 2012. Now we can look at the way the electricity total supply and demand is reduced. So 318 in 2012, that's terawatt hours, down to 275 terawatt hours in 2017. So we just go back to the dashboard a minute and you get a slightly different dial display of what's going on there. And there's the decarbonising. Here's the 2030 target, which is 100 grams equivalent of CO2 generation per kilowatt hour. So that's MyGridGB, a huge resource. Do take a look at it. The final one we're going to take a look at is this app. It's called UK Grid Carbon Intensity. It allows us to look at the ratio of energy produced, and also I'm hoping that you'll be able to see this. If we flip it over, it gives us some more graphical representation and also a carbon intensity. Let's put this up on the screen and we can look at some of the snapshots that I've collected over the last few months. What we do is we go to the App Store, you search for Grid Carbon, and then you open that. And you will see a screen with the different types of generation down the left hand side. The middle column towards the right is the power, and then the percentage mix. Right now you can see that gas is actually only at 26.8. Typically that's around about 20 gigawatts, so 20,000 megawatts. Wind is good, and at the moment it's quite bright and sunny. It's the 21st of October at 2 o'clock, and so solar is generating 4.3 gigawatts. You can move this along to see at the moment the coal is 0. Oh, got a message there, that can disappear. And then we can scroll up. Now a really neat little trick with this is you can turn it sideways and you get a couple of graphs. The top one is the total energy generation, and on the right hand side, color coded, you can see the different sources. So, and if you touch those, then you can remove that source from the mix to see what component part it's generating. So nuclear is the third one down here. If I touch that one, it disappears from the graph. So you can actually see there solar is kind of come up since 9 o'clock and it is quite bright. The lower graph is the carbon intensity, and this is really interesting. Don't forget, 100 grams of CO2 per kilowatt hour generated is the target for 2030, and at the moment it's quite good compared to the 300 that it was at 6 o'clock yesterday. The shadow is the dark hours on the bottom graph. So at the moment, if we tip it back, we go back to 147 grams of CO2. I have seen it lower than that, and I'll see if I can dig out one of the screens. Anyway, that is UK grid carbon intensity. If we just go back to the App Store, you can see it's grid carbon that you would search for to open it. I hope that gives you a good idea of how you too can actually monitor what's happening with the electricity generation in the UK. If you are a smartphone user, I really recommend that app. Updating every 5 minutes, you can mystify your friends by saying, oh look, solar's doing well today. Yes, I know, I do that quite a lot. So thanks again for joining. Don't forget to subscribe. Now, I always get the little location where the button is. I think it's down that side. Anyway, there'll be some blobs appear on the screen and you can follow other videos that we've done. Do come back. The next one we're going to be looking specifically at nuclear power generation. Thanks again for joining us.